Hey Thrifties, welcome back to the channel. In this vlog, we'll take you through our recent trip to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
We went there in August and spent around 5 days exploring the malls, street food, the iconic Petronas Towers and everything else that the city has to offer.
We wanted to share everything that we saw, tasted and experienced so that you have a better perspective whenever you visit the country next.
So sit back, grab something to eat or drink, and if you enjoy this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel. And with that,
let's dive right in. After landing in the afternoon and checking into our hotel, we set off straight for Bukit Bintang, the heart of Kuala Lumpur. It was about a 1.5 kilometer walk from our hotel, and the streets were buzzing with colorful bars, lively shops and neon-lit buildings. Our first stop was at Damascus, a Syrian spot famous for its iconic shawarmas. Watching them prepare it fresh was an experience in itself, and the taste definitely lived up to the hype. To balance the heat, we headed next door to Kunafa Crisp for their honey pistachio ice cream, which was truly indulgent. We then crossed over to the iconic Pavilion Mall, one of the city's most luxurious shopping centers. The giant fountain outside made for a great photo spot, and inside we strolled past high-end stores like Gucci, Dior and Louis Vuitton. We were on a mission to find something special, but more on that in day 2. Before calling it a night, we peeked into the Birkenstock store, still not quite in the budget, and then walked back towards our hotel. The city skyline was lit up beautifully, and along the way, we caught glowing views of the KL Tower and the Merdeka Tower. A perfect end to our first evening in Kuala Lumpur. Day 2 began with a quick grab ride to one of the most beautiful sights we have ever seen on any of our trips, the Chinese Thean temple. The temple itself was unlike anything we had seen before. Maybe we just haven't been to the right places back home, but the colors, the design and the sheer detail of the building, it was stunning. To get to the main prayer area, you need to climb up 2 floors. The ceilings are covered with rows of lanterns. The architecture is breathtaking, and you can even take incense sticks and light them outside the deity's door. Interestingly, we noticed many people praying outside the doors rather than directly inside. The deities themselves were massive and beautiful, and from the top floor, we got a panoramic view of Kuala Lumpur, easily one of the best highlights of our trip. On the way out, we stopped at a little souvenir shop on the ground floor. The lucky cats, the trinkets, all of it was fairly priced. After that, we grabbed a quick ride back to the city and headed straight for the Pavilion Mall again, because like we mentioned in day 1, we had come here for something special. And that was the first ever Uncle Roger's restaurant foyer. To play the part, we dressed in orange and black, just like the YouTube sensation Uncle Roger. We tried their traditional egg fried rice with chicken satay on the side and berry lychee iced tea. Since it was Friday, they also had a special deal on ice creams. So we happily grabbed 2 each for just about 2 ringgit. An absolute steal deal. After that wholesome lunch, we stopped by the famous KKV store before heading back. Honestly, this store is one of the cutest stores we have ever seen. 4 to 5 floors filled with everything you can imagine. From adorable soft toys to keychains, mystery boxes, makeup, soaps, snacks and quirky little finds. We didn't buy up anything, but if you're ever looking for any kind of gifts, this place will certainly not disappoint. Just keep at least 45 minutes aside if you ever plan to explore it fully. And then, in the evening, came the absolute must-do in Kuala Lumpur, the Petronas Towers. Seeing them up close for the first time was jaw-dropping. They are so tall that even straining your neck, it's hard to see the top, and when you are standing nearby, And as night fell, the towers lit up and the sight just got better and better. Then we walked into the iconic Surya KLCC, the mall inside the Petronas Towers. While we hoped to dine at a couple of famous restaurants here, the queues were massive. So here's a tip. If you really want to eat at a specific place inside the Surya KLCC mall, make a reservation in advance. Otherwise, you'll be stuck in the line. Instead, we went down to the food court and ended up having Turkish pide, which we really liked during our Australia trip. It was hearty, delicious and filling for both of us. Before heading out, we made sure not to miss the famous fountain show outside the towers. The area gets extremely crowded at night, with everyone wanting that perfect shot of the Petronas Towers in the background. Totally fair. But here's another tip. When it's time to leave, booking a grab can be really tricky. Finding a quiet and a safer corner and a couple of blocks away from the main crowd will easily make your ride much faster back to your hotel. Day 3 began with the famous Batu Caves. The giant golden statue of Lord Murugan is absolutely stunning. It shines so bright under the sun and looks magnificent. Then there are 200 plus rainbow colored stairs leading up to the cave temple. They create a brilliant picture perfect view as you climb. But again, one tip, go early in the morning to avoid crowds and make the most out of it. There is also a vegetarian restaurant in the area, so if you're looking for a quick meal, there is an option too. After visiting Batu Caves, we came back to the city and headed to the famous Central Market. And honestly, this was a fun change of pace. First of all, it's fully air conditioned, which is a huge relief after the day's heat. It's also full of interesting shops and food stalls. We tried the famous egg tart, which is quite popular in Malaysia. The market has a lot to explore: clothing stores, souvenir shops, little handmade crafts, even flower stalls. There's also a full-fledged food court. We had clay pot fried rice there. Not our top recommendation, but you'll definitely find plenty of options depending on your taste. If you're looking to buy souvenirs, Central Market is really a good place to shop. After that, while walking around, we stopped for Vietnamese cold coffee from a local vendor, which was delicious. And then we headed to a place that was on our bucket list, the KLCG Bakery and Confectionery. Now, this place is so popular that the dine-in waiting time was 1.5 hours. Since we didn't want to wait, we decided just to get some of their desserts packed. We tried their croissant and honestly, it was one of the best croissants we have ever had. And even after all the food, we were still hungry when we got back to our accommodation. Luckily, we had stocked up on some ramen from the little Bila Bila Mart near our hotel lobby. And that turned out to be one of the most delicious instant ramens we have ever had. Since the day had already been quite packed, we've decided to slow things down and went to Broom Cafe in the evening. This was easily one of the most Instagrammable cafes we had been to Kuala Lumpur. The moment you walked in, you are greeted with rows of croissants and desserts. The vibe is grounded, minimal and calm. We ordered their avocado toast, fish cakes and a cold chocolate. Everything was around a 7.5 to 8 out of 10. Tasty, satisfying and perfect for winding down. And once again, we were treated to the sight of the glowing towers lighting up the night sky. And just like that, it was our last full day in Kuala Lumpur. We wanted to make the most out of it, and our first stop for the day was the famous shopping street in the city, the Jalan Petaling Street. The great thing about this street is that it's covered from the top, so even in the hot Kuala Lumpur sun, you are shaded while you're shopping. The moment you step in, it's chaos in the best way possible. Stalls everywhere, people bargaining, vendors calling out to you. It really feels like the heart of street shopping. You'll find dupes of almost every brand here. Bags, shoes, watches, sunglasses, you name it. And there's a copy. But here's a tip. If you're at Jalan Petaling Street, make sure to check out a store called Panda Ice. You'll find on the left side as you walk through the street. It's a Malaysian local brand that sells super cute, adorable stuff. Perfect if you want to take back gifts that are a little different from the usual souvenirs. After that, we decided to head to our next stop, 103 Coffee. Now this place deserves all the hype. We honestly feel that it's very underrated on Google because coffee here was some of the best artisanal coffees we have ever had. The one we tried is still something we talk about at home. And it's not just the coffee, the food was amazing too. We tried their shroom truffle pasta, sweet potato fries and a coffee called Sunrise. If you're ever in Kuala Lumpur and if you want a good breakfast, lunch or a dinner spot, 103 Coffee should definitely be on your list. After that, it was time to enjoy one of the main reasons we have booked our hotel, the rooftop pool with the view of the iconic KL Tower and to our surprise, the Petronas Towers as well. In the evening, we headed back to Bukit Bintang one last time. This time, we explored Q Pocket, a store right next to the KKV store, filled with cutest Japanese-inspired products. But the real highlight of Bukit Bintang for us was visiting Thean, a Japanese-themed mall. And inside, we only had one mission, Donki. If you have never been to this place, it's a massive 3-storied Japanese store and it can honestly overwhelm you. There's too much happening. Rows and rows of snacks, drinks, beauty products and things you didn't even know you needed. Be ready to use Google Translate because a lot of labels are only in Japanese. But that's the best part of the fun. You don't always know what you are buying until you try it. We bought a few things from the store, from Kit Kats, noodles, biscuits, and even tried mochi because if you're in a Japanese store, you have to. Finally, to end the day, we went to try something new, very local, the Chinese roti. It's made fresh in front of you and it's such an interesting snack to end the night on. And just like that, our final day in Kuala Lumpur came to an end, filled with shopping, food, memories we'll remember for a long time. Day 5 was our final day in Kuala Lumpur, and since our flight was in the evening, we had just a few hours left to soak in the city. After checking out the hotel, we knew from the past days that mornings in Malaysia can get really hot, so instead of wandering outdoors, we chose to spend our last few hours indoors at the Berjaya Times Square, a massive 45-storied building right in the heart of Kuala Lumpur. If you're looking for souvenirs, clothes, gifts, or even a cool place to escape the heat, this is the spot. On the 5th floor, they even have a full-fledged indoor theme park with roller coasters looping through the building. We didn't go on the rides, but just watching it was thrilling. If you're traveling with kids, or if you're a theme park fan, you'll definitely love it here. But what really stood out to us was the shopping. Clothes starting from just 10 Malaysian ringgit. Shoes, clips, bags, you name it. Trendy, fashionable and very budget friendly. Food options inside are also endless, ranging from proper sit-down restaurants to smaller affordable stalls. And speaking of unique finds, we stumbled upon the most unexpected stop, a store full of exotic reptiles. Snakes, spiders, frogs, salamanders, turtles, and even a red and blue chameleon. It honestly felt like a mini zoo tucked inside a mall. For lunch, we decided to do what the locals love to eat. And it was here that we finally got to try their nasi lemak, Malaysia's national dish. And to top it off, we had their Milo drink. After spending a good 4 hours exploring and shopping inside the Berjaya Times Square, it was finally time to wrap things up. We picked up our bags and headed straight to the airport. At the airport lounge, since we were there around the supper time, the food was decent. But there was still some interesting options like Singapore laksa noodles and a few desserts worth trying. And with that, our Kuala Lumpur trip came to an end. From lively markets and stunning towers to hidden gems and delicious food, Kuala Lumpur gave us a mix of experiences that we'll always remember.
So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. For more such amazing trips, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel.
And we hope to take you along on all our journeys as we continue to grow together.
So till then, stay smart, stay thrifty, and we'll see you in the next one.